Imagine being stuck on a plane with someone who may have been exposed to coronavirus. That's what happened to dozens of people aboard a Delta Airlines jet that landed at SeaTac early this morning after hours of being delayed. King 5's Callie Greenberg is at SeaTac right now. So, Callie, what happened?
So the flight landed here at SeaTac around 1 a.m. after being grounded at JFK Airport in New York for several hours. Delta says a customer came up to staff and said before takeoff they may have been exposed to the coronavirus. So what the airline said is that their aviation medical consultants recommended that that customer be evaluated. Delta says the plane was brought back to the gate. It was cleaned before it departed again, but it left almost 4 hours later than scheduled. Now, Delta did not say if the passenger in question was on board. However, New York Daily News, they are reporting that that passenger did have underlying health issues and was actually taken to a New York hospital for evaluation. Delta Airlines is saying they are following guidance from the CDC as to how to keep the airplanes clean, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. They say that most viruses and germs, they don't actually spread on planes because of how the air circulates on an airplane, but viruses, they can be left on surfaces. So again, Delta did clean that plane before it took off. Back to you.
Interesting. All right, Callie, thank you. So Washington still has the most number of confirmed cases in the U.S.
But almost 93% who have been tested negative. So let's take a look at the numbers here. Health officials have confirmed a total of 904 cases. 48 people have died. And 11,000 people have tested negative. The governor warned as testing becomes more available, the number of cases will increase dramatically. So keep that in mind.
And from coast to coast, the message is just stay home. Governor Inslee signed an emergency proclamation yesterday, temporarily closing bars, restaurants, and many other public areas because of the pandemic. King 5's Kira Alfalin live on Queen Anne Hill in Seattle. Kira, pharmacies and grocery stores stay open though, right?
Yeah, pharmacies and grocery stores and pharmacies like this Bartell's here in Queen Anne, this 24-hour one, still open. So that is the good news, as well as gas stations and convenience stores. So the essentials, but with all of this social distancing, it's becoming a little bit hard to follow what is and what is not allowed. So social distancing is having a huge impact on local businesses. Some have had to close down for good. Others have had to change the way they operate. Food and beverage businesses have had to move from in-house seating and dining to takeout, delivery, and drive-through only. So here's a list of what is and is not allowed. Gatherings with 50 people or more, like fundraisers, festivals, and conventions are banned. Gyms, barbershops, nail salons, movie theaters, all not allowed. Grocery stores, pharmacies, hiking trails, hotels still open. So of course, child care facilities and daycare facilities are still open right now. And even though K through 12 schools are closed, there are still meal sites which are offering students who rely on those meals, still giving them those meals. So that is the good news. But if you want all that information and the graphic was too fast for you, I have posted it on my Facebook page. So you can just go onto Facebook and search at Kira Alfalin TV. I'm live here in Queen Anne, Kira Alfalin, King 5 News.
Thank you, Kira. Starting tomorrow, Canada's border will be closed to people who are not Canadian citizens or permanent residents. There are some exceptions. Americans are among them.
This measure will carve out some designated exceptions, including for air crews, diplomats, immediate family members of Canadian citizens, and at this time, U.S. citizens.
Canada is also restricting international arrivals to 4 airports. Airlines will be required to prevent passengers from boarding if they show symptoms of coronavirus. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is in his 4th day of self-isolation. His wife Sophie tested positive for the virus last week.
Casinos are starting to close. The Puyallup, Suquamish, and Tulalip tribes are all shutting down casino operations for at least 2 weeks. All 3 said they want to do their part to stop the spread of the virus and will continue to pay employees during the closure. Tribes across the state have already canceled large events like concerts and poker tournaments.
The SATs scheduled for May 2nd are canceled. The College Board, which administers the college entrance exams, also canceled March 14th makeup exams that were supposed to take place March 28th. Registered students will receive refunds and new dates will be made available.
Also this morning, guns and ammunition sales have increased nationwide. According to data from the FBI, just over 5.5 million background checks were conducted in January and February combined. According to the AP, gun sales generally rise in an election year, but this past January and February have outpaced 2016 by nearly 350,000. Ammo.com reports sales are up 70% from February 23rd to March 4th over the previous 11 days.
We want to know how this emergency is impacting you. Are you a business or employee? Send us your coronavirus questions. You can record a video, leave a voicemail, or write to us. You can email facts, not fear, at king5.com, or you can call the number on your screen, 425-341-3773.